Good evening, dear listener, and welcome to a quiet, gentle journey through time. Tonight, we will slowly drift into the heart of ancient Rome. Not into the loud arenas, not into the battles or politics, but into the calm, ordinary, beautifully simple daily life of a Roman citizen in a world long gone. So settle in, lie down if you haven't already, make yourself warm and cozy, and let your breath become slow and steady. There's no need to stay alert. You don't need to remember a thing. This is your time to rest, to dream, to let the gentle rhythm of the past carry you like a slow boat drifting down the Tiber River. We'll explore what it felt like to wake up in a Roman house, to walk the cobbled streets, to shop in the open markets, to bathe in quiet, steaming baths, to share bread and oil and honey under the soft Roman sun, and to fall asleep under ancient stars as the city hushed to silence around you. All of this in the calm, unhurried rhythm of the past. Let the world of ancient Rome unfold before you, like a soft dream you don't have to hold on to. Now, let us begin. Part 1. Morning in the Eternal City. The sky over Rome begins to pale from deep blue to a soft lavender. It is early morning. The sun has not yet risen above the tiled rooftops, but the air is beginning to stir. The year is perhaps the 2nd century after the birth of Christ. The city is large, proud, and full of life. Marble columns catch the first hints of light, and narrow streets slowly wake, still shadowed, still hushed. Inside one of the many insulae, the tall apartment buildings that house most Romans, a citizen stirs. He's not a senator, not an emperor, just an ordinary man. A baker, perhaps, or a clerk who records scrolls for the forum, or a craftsman who shapes bronze, or sews sandals from thick leather. His name might be Marcus Lucius Cinna. But names, you see, don't matter much tonight, because this could be any one of the many thousands of souls who quietly built the rhythm of life in Rome. Marcus lives on the 2nd floor of the building, high enough to get light, low enough to avoid the dizzying stairs. The room is small, but not unpleasant. A simple wooden bed, a few oil lamps set into the wall, a small table, and near the window, a bronze pot with yesterday's bread inside. The air smells faintly of clay, dust, and olive oil. He stretches, slowly, and reaches for a clay cup of water left overnight. It's cool, not cold. He splashes some on his face, then listens. Outside, footsteps begin to echo in the stone corridors, vendors wheeling carts, a distant rooster, a neighbor's child giggling softly, and so the city stirs. Marcus dresses slowly, a tunic of undyed wool, softened from many washes. He wraps a belt around his waist, slips sandals onto calloused feet, and picks up a small woven basket. Time for breakfast. He walks down the stairs, past doors with peeling paint, past neighbors he nods to quietly, until he steps out into the cool morning street. The Roman street is narrow, but full of gentle movement. Cats weave between feet, a boy carries a crate of figs, and the air's already touched by the smell of fresh bread, mingled with herbs, and smoke, and distant laughter. The Macellum, the open market, is not far. Just a few turns past a public fountain trickling into a marble basin where a woman in a blue shawl is already filling her jar. Marcus stops there for a moment. He cups his hands in the cool water and sips. The fountain has been here for decades. Built under Augustus, it has seen many hands, many mornings. He reaches the market. It is not loud yet. Only a few stalls open, a fishmonger arranging gleaming silver fish, a girl folding linen cloths, an old man pouring olives into wide clay bowls. Marcus picks up a small loaf, fresh from a baker's oven, still warm, the crust crisp, the center soft with the scent of fennel. Next, some soft cheese wrapped in fig leaves and a handful of dates, wrinkled and golden. Enough for breakfast. He exchanges a few bronze coins, not much, just enough. And then, basket full, he walks to the quiet steps of a small temple nearby. Not to pray, not today, just to sit and eat and let the morning sun fall gently across his face. After breakfast, Marcus stands. He brushes crumbs from his tunic and begins his walk, not with urgency, but with a quiet rhythm. The way you walk when the day is yours to enjoy. The streets of Rome are like ribbons woven through walls of tufa stone and marble. They curve, twist, rise, and dip gently. And under his sandals, the ancient paving stones, worn smooth by countless feet, glisten faintly where morning dew has not yet dried. Children run past with a hoop made of willow. A woman sweeps dust from her doorstep with a reed broom. The sound of a flute dances through the open doorway of a house where a student practices slowly, missing more notes than he hits. Marcus passes beneath a row of hanging laundry, fluttering like sails in the gentle breeze. Tunics, bed sheets, woolen cloaks dyed in soft ochres and browns. They sway with the rhythm of the wind, casting little shadows across the cobblestones. He greets a friend, an older man sitting outside a shop, his face lined like old leather, his hands busy mending a broken sandal strap. "Salve," Marcus says softly, a simple greeting. The man smiles and nods in return. No rush, no need for words. Rome, this morning, is not in a hurry. Further along the road, Marcus reaches a public notice board, a large weathered wall coated in whitewash, where announcements are written in red paint, job listings, performances at the theater, schedules for upcoming races at the Circus Maximus. He reads slowly, his eyes scanning the curling Latin script. Most of it he's seen before, but it's still a part of the rhythm, a daily check-in with the voice of the city. Near the corner, a man is selling small rolls of papyrus, notes, letters, even short poems for those who cannot write their own. And beside him, a young woman plays with a tiny bronze figurine, turning it over in the sunlight. A miniature gladiator with a crooked helmet. Life in Rome is everywhere, even in these tiny moments. As the sun rises higher, the streets begin to warm. The stone walls reflect the heat gently now, not yet harsh, but like a warming hand placed across your back. Marcus decides it is time to rest indoors. He returns to his insula, his small home with its cool shadows and still air. There, he prepares the midday meal, a prandium, not a feast, but enough. Slices of the remaining bread, a few olives preserved in brine, some goat cheese with honey drizzled on top, and a cup of watered wine poured from a clay jug that sweats gently in the shade. He eats in silence, sitting by the window, watching a pair of birds hopping along the roof beams. Occasionally, the distant call of a street performer or the clop of a mule-drawn cart. After the meal, a short rest. Romans understood the wisdom of pause. They honored the hours after noon with stillness, especially in summer when the sun pressed heavily on the world. Marcus lies on his back, eyes closed, listening to the quiet sounds of life outside, soft voices, moving air, the creak of wood. The city doesn't sleep, but it breathes slower now. Later, when the shadows begin to stretch, he rises, takes a towel, a small jar of oil, and heads for the baths. The Roman baths are a marvel. They're more than a place to wash. They are a sanctuary of community, health, and peace. Marcus walks to the therme, a large public bathhouse built of pale stone and fine columns. Steam rises from the heated rooms inside, but here, in the apoditerium, the changing room, there is laughter and the soft sound of conversation. He undresses and stores his things in a wall niche. Then he enters the tepidarium, the warm room. The air is heavy with scented oil and quiet sighs. The stone floors warm, the walls glisten with condensation, and through the mist, figures move slowly, relaxed, bathing, resting, talking in low voices. From there, he enters the caldarium, the hot room. A small pool of steaming water waits, and Marcus lowers himself in, inch by inch, until he is submerged up to his neck. Muscles melt, breath slows. The city, for a while, disappears. Later, he will rinse in the frigidarium, the cold plunge, and let the chill wake his skin. But not yet. Now is for warmth and stillness. Later in the afternoon, with his body relaxed and clean, Marcus steps back into the light. His tunic clings softly to damp skin, and the sunlight now carries the golden tone of late day. He walks slowly toward the Forum, the heart of Roman public life. Not because he has urgent business, but because the Forum is where Rome breathes. The path there is pleasant. He passes statues, each worn smooth by time and wind, faces that once belonged to consuls, poets, generals. Now they gaze silently at the living world that passes by. Birds nest in the folds of their carved togas. Little tufts of grass grow between their marble toes. Time moves differently for stone. As Marcus enters the Forum, a soft murmur greets him, a blend of voices, footsteps, rustling fabrics, the sweep of sandals over stone. Vendors cry out gently from shaded stalls, offering parchment, perfumes, ink, and honey cakes. A magistrate, flanked by scribes, talks quietly beneath the portico of a basilica. Two philosophers debate with hand gestures beneath a tree whose trunk leans as if listening. But there is no shouting, no rush, not today. Only the warm hum of shared space where the day unrolls like a scroll. Marcus walks past the Temple of Saturn, its tall columns rising like fingers toward the sky. Children play in the shade beneath them, chasing a wooden ball carved in the shape of a dolphin. He stops to watch for a moment. A small joy tucked into the folds of the day. From a nearby stall, he buys a small pastry. Filled with crushed nuts and sweetened with honey, it crumbles gently between his fingers. Sticky and golden, a taste from childhood. He continues past the rostra, the speaker's platform where orators once raised their voices to the sky. Now it is quiet, just pigeons preening. He walks without hurry, past the libraries, past stone benches still warm from the sun, past the little garden where violets bloom between tiles. Rome, you see, is not just grand marble and empire. It is these soft places, these corners where daily life breathes. The day grows later now. Shadows lengthen, and the sunlight has mellowed into a gentle bronze. Marcus decides to stop by his place of work, not out of duty, but out of rhythm. He works in a small shop beside a scribe's house, a quiet trade, perhaps copying texts onto fresh scrolls or crafting wax tablets with careful hands. He enjoys the work. It is slow, but satisfying. The scent of parchment and beeswax, the soft scrape of a stylus or reed pen across surface. Inside the workshop, the air is still. Dust floats gently in the light from a high window. A cat lies curled on a folded cloth, blinking lazily. Marcus sits and begins to copy a short poem from a worn scroll to a fresh one. He works slowly, each letter shaped like a breath, each line a quiet offering to time. Outside, someone laughs softly. A breeze carries the scent of rosemary in bloom, and within these walls, The hours pass like a river. When the task is done, Marcus stretches his fingers. He sets the scroll aside, ties it gently with red twine, and places it in a woven basket beside the others. Outside, the air has cooled. Even the birds sound different now, less urgent, more reflective. Evening arrives softly, with a lavender sky and lanterns beginning to flicker to life on balconies and walkways. Marcus returns home. As he climbs the stairs to his floor, he hears the quiet hum of neighbors preparing their suppers. Pots clinking, gentle voices drifting through stone walls. Tonight, he shares his meal with a friend from down the hall. Gaius, a mason, broad-shouldered and soft-spoken, brings over lentils stewed with onions and herbs. Marcus offers bread, figs, and the last of the cheese. They sit on low stools. A clay lamp burns between them. Its flame dances like a whisper. They talk in low voices, about weather, about neighbors, about nothing that matters much. Just the kind of talk that settles you. Afterward, they drink a little wine, diluted with water and herbs. Not to celebrate, but to end the day slowly, like a soft curtain falling. Outside, the city glows gently. The fires of hearths, the soft gold from temple lamps, the hush of footsteps returning home. The meal is done. The lamps burn low, and the city begins to quiet. Gaius returns to his room with a sleepy wave and a smile. Marcus rises slowly, sets the clay bowls in a corner, and opens the wooden shutters near his bed. The evening air flows in, cool and light, carrying the scent of stone and fig trees and the faintest smoke from a distant fire. He sits for a while by the window, watching the world soften. The rooftops of Rome, so golden under the afternoon sun, now appear in blues and silvers. A few silhouettes move in the distance, someone closing a gate, a dog ambling home, a couple whispering under an archway. Above, the stars begin to appear, one by one, as if being gently revealed by an unseen hand. There is no rush now, no work left to do. The day has curled itself into stillness, and Marcus, too, feels the weight of rest pulling him towards sleep. He lights a final lamp, its flame casting golden shapes on the clay walls. Then, he lies on his simple bed, blanket pulled over his chest, and listens. The night in Rome is not silent, but it is peaceful. Somewhere, a lyre plays faintly. A night bird calls once, then is still. The city sleeps in layers, and he sleeps among them. His thoughts begin to drift, perhaps to dreams of gardens or seashells by the shore, or voices long past speaking in laughter. His breath slows, his eyelids grow heavy, and the room, the city, the world settles. And now, dear listener, you too may rest. You've walked the quiet streets of Rome, felt the sun on worn stone, tasted bread warm from the oven, bathed in still waters, and watched the stars from an ancient window. Let your own breath now follow that same rhythm, slow, soft, steady. There is nothing more to do, nothing to remember. The story has been told, and the city sleeps. So may you sleep too, peacefully, gently, as the night stretches over the old rooftops of Rome. Good night.